Imagine a man who weighed less than 110 pounds. A lifelong vegetarian, rarely touched any medicine, and fasted for a total of more than 240 days in his lifetime. At first, you might think he must have been fragile, exhausted, barely able to live long. But no, this man lived nearly 80 years, led hundreds of millions of people, and remained sharp-minded, calm-voiced, and spiritually unshakable until his final days. That man was Mahatma Gandhi. Throughout his life, Gandhi fasted 17 times, some lasting as long as 21 days, drinking only pure water. When doctors came to examine him, they expected to find a body on the verge of collapse. Yet to their astonishment, his pulse was steady, his breathing, even his eyes clear, and his mind perfectly alert. One British doctor later wrote in his memoir, "His pulse was steady, his mind clear, and his spirit calm. It was as if hunger refined him instead of breaking him." So what gave him that strength? No supplements, no gym, no high-end nutrition, only breath, clean water, sunlight, and an unshakable faith in the body's natural power to heal itself. Gandhi believed the human body is the temple of the soul. And when we learn to listen to it, we find a silent wisdom within a force where every cell knows how to repair itself once we stop forcing it to carry more than it should. In today's world, we believe that health comes from what we add: medicine, vitamins, supplements. But Gandhi proved the opposite. Sometimes true strength comes from what we are willing to let go of. That secret wasn't magic. It was a law of nature, one that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. When we pause, when we allow the body to rest, it activates its own healing power without needing anything external. That was Gandhi's extraordinary secret. The man who turned scarcity into strength, turned fasting into meditation, and transformed a frail body into living proof of timeless human wisdom. I'm Dr. Grace Miller, a nutritionist and wellness educator who believes that true health begins with simplicity in what we eat, how we think, and how we live. Through every story I share how food mindset and small daily choices can nourish not only the body, but also the soul, because aging well isn't about fighting time. It's about flowing with it. If you're interested in the secrets to living a long and healthy life, please click like. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep learning together to heal naturally, live gently, and stay strong every single day. The body is the temple of the soul. Gandhi once said, "The human body is the temple of God. To neglect it is to insult the Creator." To him, caring for the body was not a matter of medicine or nutrition, it was a sacred act. Because the body is not just the vessel of the soul, it is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual, between humanity and nature itself. Gandhi believed that every cell in the body carries its own intelligence. If we listen closely, it speaks to us through pain, fatigue, or even silence. But most people today can no longer hear it. We force the body to work when it wants to rest. We eat before the last meal is digested, and we take pills to silence its cries instead of understanding their cause. To Gandhi, illness was not an enemy. He called it the strict teacher of nature. Whenever he fell sick, he didn't rush to find a doctor. He would sit quietly and write in his journal, "What have I done that made my body rebel?" Then he began to heal himself through stillness, warm water, long walks, deep breathing, and sometimes fasting for a few days to let the body rest. He believed that within every person lives an inner doctor, and our task is simply not to get in its way. Modern science now calls this the self-healing mechanism. When the body is not constantly digesting, it switches into repair mode, Cells remove toxins, tissues regenerate, energy redistributes. That's why after each fast, Gandhi always felt lighter, clearer in mind, and more peaceful than ever before. But for him, healing was never just about food or fasting. It began with living in harmony with nature. He rose at dawn, walked miles each day, bathed in sunlight, breathed clean air, and ate his meals in silence and simplicity. He never chased after medicine or technology. He believed pure air, pure water, pure thoughts. These are the real medicines. Gandhi understood something most people only realize late in life, that true health doesn't come from a clinic. It comes from the way we live each day. The body doesn't need excess. It only needs rest, attention, and love. He once wrote, "When the body is clean, the mind becomes clear." And perhaps that is why, even after hundreds of fasting days after imprisonment and deprivation, his eyes remained clear, his voice calm yet powerful, and his spirit youthful to the end. For Gandhi, youth was never about age. It was the purity within a body free from greed, a mind unburdened by worry, and a soul grateful for every breath. Gandhi's principles of living and eating. Gandhi once said, "To eat is not merely to fill the stomach, it is to nourish the soul." For him, every meal was a spiritual act, not just a matter of survival, but a chance to thank life, to reconnect with the body, and to learn the art of enough. 1. Eat simply, live. Purely Gandhi's meals were astonishingly simple. A bowl of rice, some boiled vegetables, a few slices of banana, or a cup of nut milk. No excess salt, no strong spices, no refined sugar. He believed that the complexity of food reflects the chaos of the mind. During meals, he sat in silence. No conversation, no arguments, no news. He chewed slowly, sensing each flavor, because to him, stillness at the table was the first medicine for the body. He once wrote in his diary, "When I eat in silence, I can hear the voice of my body." 2. Eat less to live long. Gandhi observed that modern people live to eat, while nature teaches us to eat to live. He believed most diseases come not from lack of food, but from overindulgence. The root of all disease lies in overindulgence. That's why he always left the table while still feeling slightly hungry. For him, that moment of not quite full was the perfect balance between body and spirit. Eating a little less allowed the body to rest, the digestion to recover, and energy to be redirected toward healing. Modern science calls this calorie restriction one of the few habits proven to extend lifespan and keep the brain sharp. 3. Fasting meditation in disguise. Throughout his life, Gandhi fasted more than 17 times, spending a total of over 240 days without food. But to him, fasting was never an act of punishment, it was a deep spiritual meditation. Fasting is the sincerest form of prayer. When he fasted, it wasn't just to cleanse the body, but to purify the mind and strengthen his will. He observed hunger, breath, heartbeat, seeking to understand his body on a deeper level. And something extraordinary happened. After just a few days, his body adjusted, his skin brightened, his mind cleared, and his spirit felt lighter. Today, science calls this process autophagy, a natural mechanism in which cells remove toxins and renew themselves when we stop eating. What Gandhi sensed through intuition a century ago is now a proven biological pathway for healing. 4. Live in harmony with nature. Every morning, Gandhi rose before sunrise. He walked barefoot for miles, bathed in cold water, meditated, and wrote in his journal. He never lived far from sunlight or fresh air. Air, water, and sunlight are God's greatest medicines. He never relied on drugs. When tired, he rested. When in pain, he listened. For him, rest was part of the cure. Gandhi believed that if we live in rhythm with nature, eat when hungry, sleep when tired, stay silent when angry, the body will restore balance on its own. 5. Self-discipline, the key to true health. All of Gandhi's principles lead to one truth: self-mastery. No one can live healthily on your behalf, not doctors, not medicine, not miracles. The only lasting cure is self-control. To control the palate is to control the mind. He proved that real strength lies not in the muscles, but in inner stillness. The simpler he lived, the stronger he became. The less he desired, the freer he was. In a world obsessed with more pills, more vitamins, more treatments, Gandhi left us a timeless reminder. You don't heal by adding more. You heal by removing what doesn't serve you. Modern science unlocks Gandhi's secret. When Gandhi spoke about purifying the body through fasting, many of his contemporaries thought he was insane. But more than a century later, modern science has proven that he was far ahead of his time. What he once called self-healing is now known by scientists as autophagy, a process in which the body eats its own damaged, weak, or toxic cells to cleanse and regenerate itself from within. 1. When the body stops eating, it starts healing. After 12 to 16 hours without food, the body activates a remarkable mechanism. Cells begin to clean house, removing faulty parts, inflammation, and toxins. The energy once used for digestion is redirected toward repair and renewal. Recent studies show that intermittent fasting can reduce inflammation, improve memory, extend lifespan, and make the brain more adaptive and efficient. In other words, when we eat less, the body doesn't weaken. It becomes wiser. Gandhi didn't know the term autophagy, but he deeply felt its truth. He wrote, "When I fast, my body becomes light and my thoughts become clear." 2. The power of a biological reset. In modern medicine, fasting is seen as a way to reset the entire system. Insulin levels drop. The body burns fat instead of storing it. Growth hormone. HGH rises, protecting muscles and the brain. Cortisol and stress decrease, creating emotional stability. That's why, after each fast, Gandhi didn't appear frail or exhausted. He spoke clearly. His eyes shone and his voice carried extraordinary conviction. Because when the body is cleansed, the mind becomes still sharp and deeply focused. 3. Eat less, live longer. Science agrees. Today, aging research centers from Harvard to Japan confirm that reducing calorie intake by 10 to 20% extends lifespan in both humans and animals. The body responds to this gentle lack by activating longevity genes and strengthening natural resilience. That explains why Gandhi, a man who ate very little yet worked tirelessly, remained mentally sharp until the end of his life. When we eat slightly less, the body doesn't lose energy. It simply sheds the burden of digestion to make time for restoration. 4. Nature. The greatest Dr. Gandhi once said, "Air, water, sunlight, and prayer. These are enough for health." Modern science wholeheartedly agrees. Morning sunlight boosts vitamin D and uplifts mood. Gentle walks in fresh air reduce heart disease and depression. Meditation increases dopamine and serotonin, the body's natural happiness chemicals. Everything Gandhi practiced, walking, meditating, breathing deeply, eating, simply has now been validated by hundreds of scientific studies. He was not a doctor, but he lived as the doctor within himself. 5. True health is the harmony of body, mind, and spirit. Modern medicine can heal the body, but Gandhi went further. He healed through willpower, faith, and inner peace. When the body, mind, and spirit are all nourished, health becomes a natural harmony, not a constant struggle. A calm mind brings inner strength and self-confidence. Gandhi never feared illness. He believed that when one lives simply and purely, the body instinctively knows how to protect itself. And perhaps it was that faith itself, more than any diet or medicine, that kept him healthy, clear-minded, and deeply alive until his final day. Lessons for us today. We live in an age of more supplements, more food, more stress, more noise, and yet our bodies are not stronger. They're heavier, more tired, and out of balance. Gandhi, meanwhile, chose less. Less food, less desire, less noise, less fear. And in that less, he found his purest strength, a power that didn't come from muscle or might, but from inner freedom. Learn to pause, so the body can breathe. We don't have to live like Gandhi, but we can learn one small thing from him: to stop before we overflow. Stop before taking that last bite. Stop before saying a word that will weigh heavy on your heart. Stop before you hurt yourself with pressure or perfection. Every pause gives your body and mind a chance to breathe, to reset, to heal. Because sometimes it's not more that we need, it's less, but what truly matters. 2. Be grateful for the simple things, Gandhi once said. Live simply so that others may simply live. At 60, you don't need to win life anymore. You just need to live it fully, softly, gratefully. Be thankful that you can still taste your morning tea, feel the sun on your skin, and walk through your little garden. That isn't just health, it's a quiet miracle. 3. Let the body return to nature's rhythm. You don't need to fast for days like Gandhi. Just choose one day each week to let your body rest. No meat, no sugar, no screen. Eat slowly, sleep early, walk under gentle sunlight. Your body will thank you, because that's how it restores, resets, and heals itself. Gandhi said it simply. You don't heal by fighting the body, you heal by listening to it. 4. True health begins with peace. Health is not the absence of illness. It's the ability to smile even when life isn't perfect. It's being able to breathe deeply without anxiety, sleep peacefully without pills, and enjoy a simple meal with a full heart. That's the state Gandhi reached, and the legacy he left for all of us. Strength doesn't come from what you add, but from what you let go. If today you can still breathe calmly, pour yourself a warm cup of tea and smile at someone you love, you're already richer than most people. So start small. Skip one unnecessary meal release. One sigh, let go of one needless worry. With every little less, you move closer to freedom, lightness, and true health. And if you believe that the body knows how to heal itself, leave a comment. Simplicity heals. Let's remind one another to slow down, listen more deeply, and love ourselves a little better every day. If you're interested in the secrets to living a long and healthy life, please click like. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep learning together to heal naturally, live gently, and stay strong every single day.